What is happening, Tug Peeps? OldManTup coming at you today with our Week 6 Team Builder for Mewtwo fan Nate and the New York Noibat. So, the team the Noibats have is Mewtwo, Naganadel, Skarmory, Sylveon, Mega Gyarados, Terrakion, Arcanine, Seismitoad, Decidueye, Tornadus Incarnate, and Galvantula. Now looking over this team, big thing jumps out right away is Mewtwo. That thing tanks hits and just obliterates things. So we're going to have to watch out for that. It isn't actually his kill leader this season, I don't think. I'm pretty sure his kill leader to this point is a Naganadel. So we're also going to have to be mindful of that. Scarf Naganadel can do work against us. So we don't want to let that thing get too crazy. Also, a substitute Nasty Plot set would be no bueno for us, because once this thing sets up a Nasty Plot, it pretty much just rips through our team. Fortunately for us, if he does run the Nasty Plot set, we do have summons that naturally outspeed it. His highest speed tier is Mewtwo at 130. His next is Naganadel with 121. Then he has 111 with Tornadus, and then Terrakion and Galvantula at 108. And everything after that is well below 100 speed. So let's take a look at what we brought. Naturally outspeeding the entirety of his team is Toshington, our Zeraora, rocking the Expert Belt this week, just because it does so much work against his team. Plasma Fist, Knockoff, Grass Knot, and Dual Chop. Yes, we have Unstabbed Dragon coverage this week, because it is one of our best plays on this set to 1v1 a Naganadel. And the Dual Chop, like I said, if we're worried about that subset, 2 different hits. So we can break the sub, if I'm not mistaken, the Expert Belt versus a standard Nasty Plot Naganadel nearly one-shot it. I mean, after the 2 hits, it was nearly a one-shot, so one chop should definitely be more than enough to break a substitute. So that's what we got rocking this week. Grass Knot, because of the Seismitoad, as frequently as we have been running Zeraora, as well as Sean Connery, our Greninja. He's really going to want something that can come in to electric attacks and or soak up water hits. And Seismitoad does that on both accounts. So we really need to be mindful of that. And that is what we got rocking. We're running a Naive Nature because we want that Grass Knot to be able to do as much damage as possible. I don't know why we are max speed, because we don't need to be to outspeed the Mewtwo. I don't know if that was specifically to outrun something with a Scarf, but I don't think so, because you'll find out later how slow something with the Scarf is that matches its speed. Alright, so here we go. Next Pokemon is going to be Sean Connery, the aforementioned Battle Bond Greninja. Even before this thing gets Battle Bond up, it outpaces the Naganadel, because base form Greninja has 122 speed and Naganadel has 121 speed. So we are running max speed because we have to. Again, we are not running a standard Timid or Modest set this week. We're running a slightly mixed set. With the Hasty Nature, defense down, speed up. And the reason we are doing that is because we got a Gunk Shot for the Sylveon. Realized the Sylveon was a bit of an issue for this team. The way it stood originally, we had a little bit of tech into it with the Gunk Shot on Ash Greninja. I forget what we had on here originally, but it definitely was not Gunk Shot. But now that we have it on there, definitely much easier to deal with Sylveon. So that's good. And I mean, in general, the Gunk Shot across the board does pretty decent work against his team. so that is also good. But yeah, Water Shuriken, Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, Gunk Shot does pretty good damage, although damage all the way across. Expert Belt, because we don't want to be losing a lot of health this week. We don't have any health passing, and as you're going to see later, I don't think we well, maybe it was on Mega Scizor. We'll check that out in a second. Next, we have Goodbye coming in. Latias coming for the second week. This thing, outside of Naganadel and Mewtwo, pretty much outspeeds everything. So that's good. Leftovers just for a little bit of residual recovery. Because we're going to be rocking a Calm Mind set this week. Calm Mind, Psyshock, Thunderbolt, and Roost. Again, does a huge amount of damage across his team. Between Psyshock and Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt, Mewtwo, neutral. Psyshock, Naganadel, super effective. Skarmory, Thunderbolt, super effective. Both neutral to Sylveon. Thunderbolt, super effective against Gyarados. Terrakion, yeah. I go down the list, but it hits everything except maybe Decidueye. But I don't think he resists a Psychic attack. So that's why we got that set. Again, playtesting this did really well for us. If we could get behind a Calm Mind at relative high health, and his fast things were afraid to come in, because most variants of Mewtwo can't one-shot us. Naganadel has to hit a Draco Meteor to one-shot us after we're +1, and I'm not sure at that rate it does, unless it's Life Orb. I don't remember the exact calc. But that, it just didn't work against a team after we got to +1. So that's why we got that this week. Need a little bit of the bulky girl to come in and be able to put in some work. Again, max speed, timid, max special attack. The leftovers put in defense because we're Calm Mind set. Next, we're going to be El Scizor, and we do not have rock removal this week, and this was the confirmation that I was looking for. Fortunately enough for us, we don't have anything that is ultra weak to it, but everything's going to be taking neutral hits when they come in. Luckily, we're running a little bit of a bulkier team this week with the Latias and some things you'll be seeing coming up. But, again, El Scizor, Mega Scizor, with Scizorite, Technician, Bullet Punch U-Turn, Superpower. Then the Roost, we are max defense, max HP. Impish Nature. And this is just to be able to come in and sponge some physical hits from things like Decidueye, from the Mega Gyarados. This just kind of sits in front of Skarmory, even though it doesn't do a lot back to it. There isn't much Skarmory can do except Whirlwind us away. If Naganadel doesn't have a Fire-type attack, we don't need special defense investment because we just laugh in its face. And the Mewtwo is Mewtwo and will probably have Fire Blast or Flamethrower, so yeah. But again, we stand fairly firm in front of all of his physical attackers unless he has a Flare Blitzing Arcanine. So that is bueno. And that's why we're rocking that set this week. Next, we're going to be going into Aerial, and that is our Melodic this week. Flame Orb, Marvel Scale, because we need to be able to absorb hits on both sides. We are Calm Nature, max special defense, 244 EVs into the HP, and the rest sprinkled in the defense. We have Scald, Mirror Coat, Dragon Tail, and Recover. And the reason we're rocking Dragon Tail this week is because we don't want to get locked into place like we did against Jolt, only having offensive moves but not being able to shuffle his Pokemon around and letting something set up. So that is why we have what we have. Again, with this defensive investment, after we're burned, we take hits like a champ. And that is one of the reasons I love Melodic, because she just comes in wags her tail, fans herself off, and laughs as the hits fall like rain. And she just lays a beating. That's if they're physical attackers, she takes a hit, she scalds them, she burns them. And if they want to hit us for super duper special attack, she's got that mirror coat to bounce them right back in their faces. Love it. And again, in the event that they have something that she's going to want to try and set up on us, we can always Dragon Tail it out. So that is what we got. And last but not least, the thing that when scarfed at max special attack or max speed goes exactly the same speed as Zeraora, Chunk the Diggersby. A Jolly Diggersby with max speed hits 143, which is the exact same speed that Zeraora Toshington was. Again, I don't know why I have them at exactly that speed, because I don't think they need to be that fast to outspeed any particular Scarfers on his side that I would be worried about. I really don't think his Seismitoad is going to be scarfed, and that is the closest thing that he has that I would really be worried about as far as that goes. So I'm not exactly sure why I have that particular speed tier, but that is what we got. But like I said, we're rocking the Choice Scarf, huge power. This will probably be our lead against 90% of the team configurations that Nate and the Noibats could bring against us. I just really like the configuration. I'm sure he will instantly switch Skarmory into this thing because ground and normal type stab. But that's why we have the Fire Punch this week. We had the Ice... Yeah, we had the Ice Punch last week for Kyle and his Zygarde. This week, we're rocking the Fire Punch for Nate and his Skarmory. So, if we catch that thing on the switch-in, it still does below half, but it guarantees that he is going to have to roost on the upcoming turn, which gives us a free switch out. So that is always good. Plus there's that minor chance to throw in the burn there. But standard set outside of that, U-turn, Earthquake, Frustration. Again, like I said, this will probably be our lead because we get a U-turn off on something, get some early switch initiative to see what he's going to go into, and then we can react accordingly. So that is what we got. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Did I overlook any sets that I could have brung? Shaman Sky was a solid bring this week. If, this is a huge if and a huge but, because OldManTup likes big booties. The biggest but on this team, he's got Skarmory. And nothing I can bring will help me touch that Skarmory. So I don't want to be locked into place. If Shaman had U-turn or some kind of switch initiative move in his back pocket, I would gladly bring it and click it every single time. But it doesn't have that. And I can't worry about locking myself into something like Seed Flare or Air Slash against something that just sits and shrug those off like it's a warm summer's breeze. Not even noticed. And easily recovered by leftovers and Roost. And it allows, I mean, it's just free setup fodder for him. He can set up rocks, spikes, just whirlwind me away, whatever he wants to do. That's the main reason I didn't bring Skarmory this week. Any other thoughtfuls that I might have had? We don't have Miltank on the team this week. I think that's the first week. No, it was definitely not the first week. But close. Second week, we don't have Miltank with us. But, so we don't have rocks, we don't have removal of hazards either. Which I hope doesn't come back to bite us because he has a Skarmory, which sets up spikes and rocks. And we don't have anything that immediately threatens it out on the team. And there's quite a few things that come in and just set those things up in front of. Mainly Scizor and or Chunk. But those are two things I'm expecting to have in and out quite frequently. And I expect that to be his answer to both of those things. So, definitely something we need to be mindful about. We don't want him just setting up and dancing all over our face. So, let me know what you guys think. I've been OldManTup, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.